Всем привет, меня зовут Мурат, и сегодня я вам покажу интервью с моим учеником, который сдавал экзамен IELTS. Он получил 6,5, 17 лет для поступления в университет. У нас было примерно 4 месяца на подготовку, первичный результат был примерно около 5, и мы дошли до 6,5. В этом видео все будет происходить на английском, то есть мы будем говорить с ним на английском языке. И вы можете использовать субтитры, если будет что-то непонятно, но в целом звук достаточно хороший. Но если у вас уровень ниже B1, то рекомендую включать субтитры. Итак, интервью.
And let's talk about your IELTS experience so we can, show people what passing IELTS is like, and you will share your English learning experience. Tell us, please, how did you start learning the language?
Okay, it started around 6 years ago. I was hopeless at English. I didn't know anything about it, probably around 50 or 100 words. I knew no grammar back then. So my father, he knew English and he started to teach me English. It was during the summer. So he taught me some basic words. He explained me present tenses, and he asked me to build different sentences so I could practice what I know. Then, after several years with this experience, he decided that I need to start studying with a professional tutor. It was I won't tell her name, but we've studied around 3 years. My English level boosted very well. I think it was around B1. Then I had a break, but during this break, I've watched many videos in English, so my level stayed around at the same level. And yeah, I think it was my journey.
Thank you. Now, tell me, please, when did English became a part of your life? Like really a part of your life? You know, there was a shift, like psychological shift that you understood, okay, this is who I am right now. I am a serious user of the language, a learner / user. And how did you realize it, like that it became a part of your life?
Yeah, it was in the 9th grade. I was interested in programming, but initially I studied with Russian language because in English I wasn't good enough to grasp different concepts. But when I've become more experienced user of English, I've started to read documentation in English, watch programming courses in English, and all of that made me a real user of English because my usage of English became outside of just typical doing homework. I mean.
Yeah, okay, that's great. That's great. And tell us, please, a little bit more about your interests. Programming, you said. So how did it become your interest? Like what happened? How did you become interested in this field?
Yeah, once again about my father. When I was a kid, he inspired me to become a programmer because they had great job opportunities as right now. It was an interesting job because there are so many fields that you can develop. And when I was in the 7th grade, we had a subject, programming language, Python at school. And I was like, my dad said that I need to become a programmer and this is my chance. And that's how I've started.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a really good chance, actually. Nice origin story. Your father played a big role in your life, and I guess he still does, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, let's talk about IELTS a little bit more. So, can you tell us why have you decided to pass this exam, the IELTS exam, I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, it's very simple. As I've got graduated from school, I need to enter the university, and I need IELTS to do that. And in addition to that, I wanted to check my English level because I wasn't sure all these years.
Yeah. Well, a pretty basic idea. Now, but tell me, please, are there any other reasons or benefits to pass the exam? Any other like good things of doing this activity, passing the exam, I mean IELTS exam, or any other exam in general?
I think exams, they are like evidence that you know the subject. If we talk about IELTS, primarily it's made for entering the university or migrating to different country or to land a job with English skill requirement.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. Okay, now can you give us some advice on preparing to this exam? Like how, if a person, let's say, wants to prepare to this exam, like what would you tell them to do?
The number one rule is to stay consistent. So you need to build a schedule like in these days you do listening, at different days you may do writing, reading. It's up to you what schedule should you build, but you should be consistent. Then I would recommend to watch videos from YouTube, how people pass speaking, for example, how they speak, what dictionary they use, what phrases, recommendations from the teachers on YouTube. And also you can check, there is a list of topics that they ask on speaking, and the probability that you will face this topic is very high. So you should practice as much as you can from them. And there are many free resources how you can test writing, reading skills. So you just search in the internet, download these files, and practice.
Thank you so much. Now, the last question about English in general. Well, some people say that learning the language is unnecessary right now because of all of the technology that we have, all of the chat GPTs or translators, whatever. And they think it's redundant because of the technological times we live in. What is your take on that? Is learning English still relevant today?
I think, yeah, because for instance, when you communicate with a person, if it is in real life, I doubt very strongly that technology will help you much. If we talk about communication in apps, as we do right now, technology can definitely help you, but it must be more advanced for proper communication, I think. And I don't know, technology, they make things more, I would say, less natural, because they use very super robotic language. You can distinct human speech and robot speech. If we talk about chatting, yeah, technology will help you, but once again, it won't be natural. For reading and watching videos, technology will definitely replace the necessity of knowing the language because they translate very well. Overall, I think you need learn English, at least for communication. And overall, robots can make mistakes. Humans can do mistakes too, but I think a good user of English is more precise than robot.
Well, at least more personal, definitely, right?
Yeah, personal.
So you can actually, if you even make mistakes, you can, correct them, or you can explain that, whatever, And like, I guess one more like a side question. So if it's relevant and, well, you are definitely a user of the language, have you noticed any improvements in your life, like besides just knowing the language? Like, were there any psychological benefits or other benefits, mental benefits, when you found that you passed IELTS? Like 6 and 5, a very good result. It's a B2, the higher end, and now you understand that, okay, I'm actually an independent, a really independent, right, user of the language. What is the psychological, mental benefits that you have experienced?
Mm, It's great to realize that you are bilingual. So you're not like an average American who knows only one language. Yeah, it boosts self-esteem because knowing a foreign language, this is a huge labor, and it boosts self-esteem. You feel better because of that.
Yeah, definitely feel maybe more opportunities, right? Like the world is, you can see the world in through the different lens, so to say. Yeah, through the lens of the like most, I guess, widely used language in the world, probably, at least in the technological and scientific sphere. So yeah, definitely.
Вот такое вот получилось у нас интервью. Надеюсь, оно вам понравилось или даже, возможно, замотивировало на изучение английского языка или подготовку к экзаменам в принципе. Если оно было для вас полезным, ставьте лайки, пишите комментарии и подписывайтесь на канал. На этом у меня все. Увидимся в следующем видео. Удачи!